I don't wanna close my eyes.
I don't wanna fall asleep,
'Cause I miss you, baby, and I don't wanna miss a thing. Alright, let's get to this shit.
Hello, everybody.
4, 3, 2, kick it.
Hey guys, welcome back to the 10th of many episodes of Miami Last Cast, your video games podcast out of Miami, Florida. I am James.
And I'm Eric.
Yeah, that's your name. You almost forgot.
Yeah, I almost forgot. I was actually gonna do my my gamer tag. I don't want nobody just knowing my name. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. In the house. So today we got a good game show. No, not a game show. We got a good show for you guys. We're going to start off with a little bit of what we've been playing in the last week. Also, Xbox teams up with Taco Bell, so some interesting things there. We have a new study that came out about how the gaming impacts your brain. Shadow Wars introducing microtransactions into its game, so we're going to discuss that. Nintendo got sued over some designs. We're going to get into that as well. And then we're going to have the topic of the show, a little bit of our thoughts of what we think about pre-ordering video games in 2017. So let's get it started here.
Yeah, let's do it.
So, brother, you were telling me before the show that you actually had your hands on some games. You were going back to your little reaching in and pulling out of some old games.
Yeah,
definitely. What you got going on?
Some old games that from like around the the beginning of PSN on when I got my PS4. I've just been slowly collecting them, and one of the games that I kind of sort of just like got from the bottom of the barrel, was a game called Zombie, originally named Zombie U because it was,
I remember that.
Yeah, you remember it got released with the Wii U.
With the Wii U, yeah, I remember that.
So yeah, I don't know, when I played it, my boy Manny bought it. Like, he pre-ordered the Nintendo Wii U, and then I loved it, and then we binged like that game for like hours on end. And so like whenever I die, I gave him the controller. And
but you played it on the Wii U?
Yeah, I played it on the Wii U.
Okay.
It was actually pretty fun. We had pretty good space to like mess about with.
So what happens in that game exactly?
Okay, so it's pretty much you're a survivor of the zombie apocalypse.
Okay,
that's going on in London. So you have to go like all around London to go to these secret places where you try to find some resources. You go and try and find like the cure.
Okay, so it's like playing Pandemic, the game.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
gotcha.
So far you still haven't found it yet, but you go up against like a lot of enemies. You go search like through like a good part of London. It's always dangerous. So, and there's always like that element of, oh my god, what if I die?
And turn into a zombie? Do you turn into a zombie?
Okay, so here's the thing. Yeah, you turn into a zombie. All right, and then somebody else apparently takes your place, like in the camp. All right, so whatever you have on you, make sure it's like the very bare minimum that you're gonna need to get from point A to point B. So if you just happen to die somewhere in the middle right there, be ready to kill your former self. And take back all your stuff. But yeah, like I get this. The game's kind of scary. It has like that nice element to it. Like
I can't believe zombies are still a thing.
Yeah, zombies are still a thing.
I thought that would get played out.
Yeah,
by now, but. So you've been playing a little bit of that. What else have you been playing?
I've been playing. I gotta play Batman Arkham Knight.
Okay, cool.
Dude,
how's that one?
Dude, when I played that game for the first time, like my friend Manny bought it, and then when I saw that Batmobile, I just had to have it again. So
for real?
Yeah, dude, I bought it like on Black Friday. Yeah, it was kind of like $15.
Cool, man.
The original retail price was like $60. So
that's usually like my case. Like I'll see the games on the deep sale and buy them, and then I'll get to them like when I get to them.
And dude, I've gotten up to that part where you have to fight 7 Cobra tanks, and there's the Cloudburst tank, which is the Arkham Knight is operating. Oh shit, sorry. And then, dude, I'm just like flinching because, you know, at any point in time, like this dude can corner me and kill me, and it gets difficult every time. It's really long.
Did you play the Arkham Asylum? And
yeah, I played Arkham Asylum and Arkham City.
How does it compare?
Well, I mean, Arkham Asylum, it's how do I, you know, how do I
it's more at least when I played, I haven't played Arkham Knight, but the game seems more streamlined, more kind of guiding you through, whereas Knight seems like an open world type game.
It gets progressively more open and open with each iteration, like because in the beginning you were stuck in Arkham Asylum. All right. You were just operating there. Then you were operating all over the city. Right. And now you're operating all over the city, but with a car. All over Gotham.
Gotcha. So they stepped up their game.
Yeah.
Cool, man. Cool. What else have you been playing? So you've been digging into some old stuff.
Yeah, I've been digging into that. I've been playing a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh! Just trying to get my...
for sure. That's a staple.
That's a staple. A lot of One Piece Pirate Warriors 3.
Dude, oh, cool, man! Dude. That's the like the Muso game or Muso.
No, it's kind of like Dynasty Warriors.
Like Dynasty, yeah, the Muso. Yeah. I think that's how they call those games.
So, dude, you have to play with me. Like, let's go on PS4 and play that.
Does Luffy like stretch out and stuff like that? Like, do they use the superpowers in the game?
Yeah, he does. He uses normal attacks. Like everybody uses their attacks on the game. Right, so cool. Whatever your attacks are, whatever your character can do, that's pretty much what he uses. So for this one, it's more focused on it's a regular Dynasty Warriors game. You do zone control.
It just has the skin of One Piece.
Yeah, and it follows them from the beginning to the end.
Cool.
So, but yeah, it's really nice. It's not bad. It's not bad at all.
All right, cool, man. Anything else you've been playing?
No. That's it.
So I will tell you that the Switch has been the most convenient machine that I have ever owned.
Oh, really?
I call it the dream machine.
The dream machine?
Yeah. So I've been playing a little bit, just kind of preparing for in two parts. Okay. I've been kind of getting used to playing the like the handheld mode again. Okay. Because I was playing on the television for a little bit. Kind of preparing for the Rabbids Cross Mario game that I was super stoked for. So I've been playing that. I mean, the staples, the same games I mentioned in the previous episodes, like Cave Story Plus, this Guy 5, and some others. But for the most part, I've been playing a lot of XCOM 2 to prepare for this game. So it's been kind of like in the way that you've been doing it. It's kind of digging into the vault.
Yeah,
I've been digging into the vault as well. So XCOM 2 I brought out, Borderlands 2 I brought out.
Okay.
And then I've been playing a lot of Portal Knights. So Portal Knights is, if I haven't mentioned on the show before, it's basically Minecraft meets Diablo. Okay. So it's a little game that I didn't hear about it until I don't even know how I caught wind of it. It might have been a YouTube video or something. Okay. But basically, to me it's a more kind of guided version of Minecraft. You know, there's a lot of Minecraft clones out there. A lot of them suck. This one is different because basically what they did is they created a world that's a lot like Minecraft, but it's almost in pieces. So the portal part of it is you transfer between worlds through the portals.
Yeah. And
then you can access different materials or different whatever reserves or whatever you want to call it within the game, and then you kind of bring it back to your hub. And then the really cool thing is you could change between hubs.
Okay.
So you can be, let's say you're in the desert world and you want to make your home there, you can do that, and that can be your home. You can the more greeny one, if you have a particular tree that you want to plant, that you're gonna make yourself a home there, or you can just go to these different worlds and bring them back and then create that. So it's pretty cool in that way, and it's also like Diablo in a way, because Diablo It's this whole like hack and slash kind of feel.
Yeah.
RPG-ish. You're growing within. I think you can level up to like 30 or 40 within the game. So you're constantly building. You're getting these new pieces of armor and accessories, and then you can level those up.
Okay.
So that becomes more of the RPG-ish type world, which Minecraft just doesn't have. So I enjoy that part of it because I'm both a Minecraft and the RPG fan. So for those who haven't gotten into that game, if you haven't heard of it, check it out. Portal Knights for sure. But that's basically most of what I've been playing.
Okay.
Let's get into the topics here. So I want to start off with, it's a little bit of small news, but I find it interesting because Xbox and Taco Bell decided to join forces. They've done it in the past.
Okay.
But in particular, now what they're doing is pretty interesting. They're actually getting the Xbox, and they're promoting it by partnering up. So basically, you got to buy these $5 boxes. That's going to net you a code. You send in the text, and then between August 31st through October 4th of this year, they're going to be basically giving out every 10 minutes an Xbox One X.
Okay.
So I think this is smart because that's not only going to create messaging for them, it's going to make sales for it's smart on both sides. Taco Bell's going to sell boxes. Xbox is going to get the word out. So it's going to create an interesting dynamic. It's going to put it on top of people's mind, and it's also going to get it in people's hands. So a lot of people's problems with this console is that it's too expensive, right? But when you're getting it for free,
you're getting
that's not an issue anymore.
Exactly.
So if they're giving if they're giving one away every 10 minutes, that's pretty cool because that means there's going to be plenty of them out there, and now it's just about selling the software.
Yeah.
Do you think this is going to help them out at all? You think it's a smart move?
To be honest, man, PlayStation used to do this, like, I think the year before.
Yeah, I know they did some stuff with Destiny. I want to say that they had I want to say that it's on some sort of
it was a Destiny PS4 combo, kind of sort of.
Gotcha, you're right.
So they had it with the $5. So I mean,
they did it with Taco Bell before.
Yeah, they did it with Taco Bell.
Oh, okay, I didn't know that.
So to be honest, like I think the best move for them to do now. It's probably out there. So take this with a grain of salt, but probably just partner up with like T-Mobile. Actually have
the other T.
Have Xbox partner up with AT&T or Sprint, and then PS4. Sony can go with T-Mobile, and then we'll see what happens there. As far as getting the word out, and
for sure.
So to be honest, because I don't think it was. I think it was okay. I thought it was decent. I didn't think it was like over the top.
Right.
To be honest, because this is something that it's been done before. So
right.
You can't really expect.
But if it works, you don't got to reinvent the wheel, as they say, right? So if it works,
I guess. But realistically, how often are you gonna win an Xbox through like a promotion? You feel me? Like,
right.
The only way I'll know for sure if it works is if they take to social media. They go like, oh well, here's our winner in Oregon or in Michigan or in California or in Florida. Such and such.
You're right.
And they take to the gram, and then they just poke it out. They just they put it on there. They put it on their page.
That's true. That makes sense.
That this actually works. Like, and then it's, to be honest, because like I don't think it has any negative aspects to it.
It
doesn't have any negative aspects to it.
I think it's only gonna help them.
Yeah, but
maybe what it cost them to partner up with Taco Bell, right?
I guess, but.
But yeah, just a 2 cents on that. I think ultimately it's gonna be a good play for Microsoft. At least for me, I'm gonna try and win these things. If they're giving them out every 10 minutes, they're giving away plenty of them. So I guess we'll see how that plays out. But for those who don't know, we're gonna link down in the show notes how you can enter this contest. So it's gonna go on from August 31st to October 4th, and check that out. All right, so off of Taco Bell, we're going to change to, it's a little bit more of a serious topic here, and that's because there's been a lot in the news. I'm sure a lot of you have seen through YouTube and other forms of social media. There was a study done recently saying that video games have a negative aspect on the brain. Basically, they did some studies, and within these studies they discovered that through certain games, the gray matter within our brain, and the gray matter is in our brain is what basically I mean, not to get too deep into the explanation because this is not a brain podcast, it's a game podcast, but basically it makes you more susceptible to PTSD, types of depression, different disorders, anxiety and things of that nature, psychological, schizophrenia, things of that nature. If
you have a low gray matter count.
Right. Okay. And so what they did in the study, they actually did a couple studies.
Okay.
Because in the past, there's been a lot of positive things. A lot of doctors actually recommend a certain amount of gaming for cognitive improvement, motion, movement, that sort of thing actually helps. But the study is basically saying, okay, so are you getting those benefits at a cost? So the cost in this case is they're saying that it does bring down the gray matter for a particular action-based game. So, your first-person shooters, third-person shooters, things of that nature. Yeah. And interesting enough, they put that study up against a 3D platform such as Mario and Bandicoot, and they actually found the inverse effect, will actually help produce more gray matter, which is interesting to me that the different types of games that we play can have that sort of impact in the way that our brains operate. Okay. I wonder if those are permanent, or those are temporary kind of side effects, if you want to call them. Okay. But I think that, not to get too much in a rambling here, but basically, anything in excess is bad for you. Yeah. So, you even water in excess, you chug water. People have died from chugging water. But you know what? Let me take a sip here. That's good. So yeah. So I mean, basically, my takeaway from this is, don't do anything in excess. If you're gonna sit down for 8 hours, 9 hours, and play Call of Duty online, not only are you gonna have impacts on your brain, but you're also gonna have impacts on sitting down for long periods of time creates blood clots in your legs, and it could lead to hemorrhaging, which could lead to heart attacks. So, I mean, if you really want to dice this thing down to the nitty gritty, anything can be seen as bad. But it's not a surprise to me. What is a surprise to me in the study is how the different types of game have effects. Okay. You have any thoughts on that?
Dude, I mean, on the surface, I think it's pretty on the surface it seems pretty conclusive. Like when you play, mindless games like Call of Duty, all you're doing is really shooting people. It's a team with 7 other people versus 8 other people on a separate team, and you're just shooting them because you need points.
Right.
Really.
Right.
There's, not to say that there's a lot you get. There's nothing else you could do with your time. But if you're gonna play video games, at least play video games that stimulate you, like any platformers, any action-based games, or okay, I'm just gonna throw an example out there.
Okay.
Like games like Uncharted,
okay.
Games like Shovel Knight, Tomb Raider, that's another good one. If it's gonna have shooting in it, don't let it be mindless shooting.
Right.
What's good? Well,
I think that the what is the effect here. I don't think it's necessarily the type of game. It's the way that you play it. Like a lot of these Twitch based games, you're kind of looking everywhere. Yeah. And I can see how that can have some effects. So even maybe something like an Uncharted done in excess can affect you. It's not going to affect the same as Call of Duty. I mean, Call of Duty is just rampant, just craziness, 60 frames per second happening all over the place.
Yeah, like you're, just because I shoot you in the kneecap, you're already dead.
Yeah.
It's not like, like if we're going to go into another shooter, it's not like, okay, I want to throw in Metroid because I'm,
okay.
You're a Nintendo fanboy, so I'm gonna, do this in a way you can understand. Every time you fight a boss, you can't just fight a boss. You can't just shoot them wherever the hell you want. You have to shoot them at certain weak points.
Okay.
That actually requires you to think more. You know what I mean? That's pretty much the premise of what it is I'm arguing. You have to be able to think while you're. I mean, if you're gonna shoot anything, think about why, and then do it. I'm shooting him in a certain place because this was his weak point, and I gotta keep shooting him, and I gotta keep on moving around the map, and I gotta keep, I gotta.
Right. I mean, all this creates some sort of alertness, which I can see how it can impact your brain long term. But I mean, I would take this with a grain of salt. They didn't go really into. They only tested about 100 people on this. It was something around 50 something guys and about 40 something women.
Okay.
So it's a very small test pool. But I mean, it's a study nonetheless. It's something that we need to be mindful of.
Yeah.
Definitely. So now the next time I play a game, it's definitely going to change the way I think. Maybe I play a little bit less of it. Maybe I stay away from certain types of games. So this is definitely having an impact on the way that I decide to play video games. Kind of like what's happening with football right now in the NFL. A lot of these concussion tests and all these things. Obviously, people are becoming more aware. And they're changing the way they do certain things. So I think this is no different. So the news doesn't get better, Eric.
Oh, God, what happened this time? What happened this time?
So we just found out.
What did we find out?
That Shadow of War. So that's for those who don't know, Shadow of War is the follow up to Shadow of Mordor, which is the world based in the Lord of the Rings game that did very well. It's a game by WB. And it was praised for its Nemesis system. So what they decided to do is they basically are putting in microtransactions within the single player Nemesis system itself.
Okay.
So in the past you used to be able to put in a cheat code and you unlock unlimited money or unlimited continues or whatever the case may be. In this case, what they're doing, you're basically doing that but with real money. So they're incorporating loot boxes, they're incorporating XP boosts, they're incorporating early unlocks. Well,
thank God I never played Shadow of Mordor.
So this begs the question. This is a slippery slope. In this particular game, I mean, they came out and they basically said, "Hey, look, you can grind all this stuff out. You could do it naturally in the game." But then it raises another question: has this changed the way that you grind within the game so they can push you to buy these loot boxes and stuff? So it's just a little bit of a slippery slope, and it's no coincidence that it's happening in Shadow of Mordor. They just brought loot boxes into Injustice earlier this year. I'm a big proponent in vote where your wallet. You hear it all the time, and obviously people are buying this stuff. If not, they wouldn't be putting it into the game. I don't think, anyways. They wouldn't be wanting to alienate certain people if they weren't making if they didn't have some sort of upside, right?
Yeah.
So I personally think that this is a disgusting way to do business. I understand, it is a business ultimately, but it's a little bit slimy for me to do that. I'm not as upset about it as if it were in a multiplayer. So power to whoever buys the power, right?
Yeah.
This is in the single player version of the game, so it's not as bad, but it's like I said, a slippery slope that I think can lead to changing these $60 games into this free to play atmosphere. I feel, anyways. And another game that just happened to the what is it, France? What's the game that you were playing that Epic did?
Fortnite.
Fortnite. So basically, that's a free to play game that they're charging you $60 for. I feel like, although this is a full fledged game, it feels like if people keep buying into this business model, if they keep buying these transactions, it's just going to be more and more kind of dominant in the games. It's going to take over the way that we play games. I don't know if you feel the same way.
Yeah, man. I think it's I don't think it's very, to be honest, I don't think it's a very good way to do business. However, I mean, depending on the game that you are, I would say pick and choose your battles wisely, because you don't. Microtransactions don't always work for every single game. Like, for example, Assassin's Creed. I don't know where microtransactions would actually fit and help you out with anything other than, you know, helping your character survive. You know.
Well, it's funny you mentioned that, because they actually make reference to Assassin's Creed Black Flag.
Are you serious?
Yeah, where Assassin's Creed Black Flag was the first, or the one of the most recent ones that comes to mind, where they actually, but there's like the clothes and maybe extend, because there you've had ship battles.
Okay, that's DLC. That's different.
Right, but they're selling to you within the game through microtransactions as DLC.
Well, I mean, I get it. It's DLC is like one thing. That's if like you want, you know, the stat boosts on your character to be like through the roof, and you want them to look good, or, you know, I mean, I always loved Assassin's Creed 4, like, out of all the Assassin's Creeds. But, you know, to be honest, yeah, a game like you know, Assassin's Creed, things like I'm drawing a blank here.
No, coming back to like the single player experiences, the major ones, which is like your Uncharted, your Tomb Raiders, your you know, Heavenly Swords for the old schoolers.
Yeah.
So you know, those types of single player experiences are becoming fewer. Why? Because I think that more companies are leaning towards your Overwatches, your you know, Anthem, which was recently announced by EA. Why? Because these are games that they want to do as a service, so that they can continue to pull money. So they don't want that one-time $60 bang, and then, you know, there's no more money coming out except if you do a DLC and you move on to your next product. So now it's making okay to spend you know, 10 years on a project. Destiny 2, for example, right? They announced that this is going to be a 10-year project. So it's one game that they're going to continue to grow on and make money through these expansions and DLCs and such. Although Destiny has the CO options and the expansions, they don't really hit you with microtransactions.
Yeah, no.
So this is like a different form, for sure. But I see what you're getting at in your comparisons there. And that's where it's not as bad, because it stays to the single player game. Where I'm afraid, or what I'm afraid of might happen going forward is, you know, it turns these experiences into these money grabs.
Yeah.
You know, and it plays on our weaknesses as gamers. As gamers, we're completely competitive, and at least for myself, you know, you want to have everything in the game. You want to have all the shiny things and everything. So you want, if you're a completionist, which most of us within gaming, I feel are, you know, it's going to be hard to not spend that money to buy the content when it's available. Now that you can grind it out and get it that way is not as much of a problem. But again, I feel like it's a slippery slope that could lead to, I mean, and you already see it in these multiplayer games. It started as, you know, you can buy skins and such and such and such and such or whatever, but now they're getting greedier and greedier, selling you different portions of the game. And I feel like that's where the issue is. And if people buy into these things, that it's going to keep bringing them out, and that's going to be the new norm. And it's not a future that I want to be a part of with gaming anyways. I feel like I enjoy those complete experiences beginning to end. And then the companies will move on to the next project, or maybe they'll support it with DLC. And DLC, although DLC can be slippery as well, right? So coming back to Assassin's Creed, I remember from Assassin's Creed, I can't remember which one it is. I think it was Brotherhood or Revelations or one of those, but there was basically a whole mission that was out in the middle of the game. So it was like something like mission 13 out of 16 was not there, and then they sold it to you as DLC later.
Oh yeah.
So that's where I feel like the DLC is an issue, where they'll sell you an incomplete game and then sell it to you as DLC later when it was meant to be in the original game to begin with. So why does that happen? Because they're grabbing money. People are paying for it. You know, if nobody paid for it, then they wouldn't have that, and they'll be forced to put their resources in ways to want you to get that product and create or increase their revenue in other ways, right? So I mean,
it's like I said, pick and choose your battles wisely. I mean,
right.
if first of all, you have to know what it is you're selling. and then determine whether or not that DLCs. Well, I mean, if it's compatible with either a DLC or if it's compatible with loot boxes or a microtransaction system.
Right, and loot boxes is slimy as hell, man.
Yeah,
it is slimy as hell, man. They're basically putting a gambling game within a game. These things, like, that's another thing, brother. I hate these freaking loot boxes, man. I mean, to a certain extent, it's fine. Like Borderlands is guilty of this. They'll show you these loot, but it's like so much stuff that you're not looking for one particular thing. I was listening to a podcast recently. I think it was Kind of Funny or something like that, where they were discussing a particular thing that they were looking for in the loot. And they spent a bunch of gems and gems that you can buy with real money, of course.
Honestly.
Looking for this particular rare thing when they could have just bought it or grinded it out in the game. It doesn't exist, and now they have to do it through these loot boxes, which is by chance. So that's another layer. Like, now it's microtransactions on a gambling aspect, and they're gonna keep you coming back and buying useless stuff.
Yeah,
looking for the thing that you want, and that is grimy as hell, and that is super grimy, and that is directly happening from the DLC through microtransactions, and now it's coming into loot boxes. These loot boxes worldwide, because people are they're paying for it, man, in other games. So these companies are like, no, we're not gonna miss on this boat.
Yeah,
so that's how I feel about that.
Well,
it's all good though. It's all good.
It's good.
In other news.
Ding,
ding, ding, ding, ding, ding, ding. This just in: Nintendo is getting sued over design.
No.
Yeah. So
what happened?
If you've been hiding under a rock, you did not hear about Nintendo is actually getting sued as a company. I kind of feel like I don't want to say their name.
Okay.
Because I think that the reason they're doing this lawsuit, they know that they're not going to win, and they're just trying to get their name out there, which is smart, I guess. But so this company is suing Nintendo over the design that they had on the Joy-Con specifically. And what they're saying is, so their particular design is basically a tablet and two detachable controls that go over that tablet.
Okay.
So that's their design. So that patent is basically the controllers with the tablet in the middle, and they're saying that Nintendo infringed on this. So they have yet to determine if this is going to go into court or not, but they filed a claim, and they want them to basically cease production immediately and pay them damages over this.
I mean, even if by the good grace of miracle of God that they managed to get this off, I mean, this doesn't guarantee that this is gonna extend as far as, like, let's say, for example, Europe or South America or
right, wherever the patent laws are in effect, is where it's gonna affect.
Yeah, because they do business with other countries. Nintendo, isn't just Nintendo of America. It's Nintendo. It starts off in Japan.
Nintendo of everywhere. Nintendo worldwide.
Nintendo worldwide. So you have offices in like El Casa de Pinga in Greece and in Australia. All these different places. So I mean, if it's just American based, they're just going to affect American sales.
Right. So I mean, this is, I don't know, because the story doesn't say, but I think this is specifically to US. So basically, the patent laws here in the US are completely broken. They're completely kind of a mess when it comes to anything with trademarks, copyrights, patents. There has to come a point where you can patent your particular product. You came up with it, you benefit for 10-15 years or whatever the case is, and then it goes to everybody, right, to give them a chance to improve on it. And that's what a lot of other countries do. I'm not talking about being in a communism here. I'm just talking about making your community better, your country better through because you can only invent so many things, right? So I think this is gonna fall by the wayside. I don't think this is gonna stand up in court. I don't even know if they're gonna take it into court. I mean, when you look at the two products side to side, this particular company's product and the Nintendo Switch, there's nothing there except for there's a screen with two controllers on the side, and I don't know if that's gonna stick, but it's interesting to see if this was not Nintendo, if this was like a Mickey Mouse company, well, not Mickey Mouse because Mickey Mouse is pretty rich, but if this was and Mickey Mouse, just for those who don't know, it's a Cuban thing, and Mickey Mouse Mickey Mouse means like it's cheap on the cheap. So if it was like some sort of like small company, they come out with some sort of design like this, I wonder if one, if they would even submit the claim, and two, if you would even hear about it. But since it's Nintendo, they're a big target, and obviously, if they stole this design, they got to pay up. But I don't think this is the case. I think it's one is coincidence, and two, it's not gonna hold up. And I guess Nintendo has it coming, right? Because look what they've been doing with YouTubers and all that stuff. So I guess what goes around comes around, right?
Yeah, honestly, I heard actually what's been going on with YouTubers. They're putting like liens on YouTubers to either stream their content or not at all. So
yeah. It has to be exclusive to Nintendo.
Yeah, you have to either you have to be a sole YouTuber that only shows off Nintendo stuff, or
Dude, I put like one of these videos. I put like it wasn't even like an actual gameplay. Well, it was gameplay, but it wasn't like me playing the game. It was just some B-roll that I put on one of my videos.
Yeah.
Of Mario, to just kind of show a visual of what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And I got a claim right away. I'm like,
Are
what?
you serious?
I got a claim for that. Yeah.
Dude, how is it that you got a claim? That is not even possible.
It was on B-roll. There was not even no audio.
Seriously?
Yeah. It was just like, hey, no worries. You put the claim. You just can't monetize your video, whatever.
Yeah, but
if it does monetize, it's going to Nintendo. But I'm like,
you streamed Nintendo's E3 live coverage. That makes no sense to me whatsoever.
Yeah.
That is complete and utter BS.
Yeah. Hey, watch your mouth. It's bullshit. It's bullshit. So yeah, dude, I guess we'll see what plays out as that happens. We'll keep you up to date as new news breaks out on that particular subject. But I kind of want to move on here to our topic of the show, and this is a topic that has been kind of making me think for a while. I'm interested to see what you think and what our audience thinks.
Okay.
And it's the topic about pre-orders, right? Okay. So pre-orders basically stems from the fact that in the old days, there was never enough copies out there. You needed to pre-order your game to kind of guarantee it.
Okay.
And I see the reason to order it in that case. And in some cases, I'm not even mad at you if you pre-order like maybe some rare game, limited run, something like that there's going to be a limited amount on. But nowadays, it's gotten so sketchy with the pre-orders, right? So you have one, you pre-order the game for no reason, basically, because there's going to be plenty of them. Two, it's available digitally for those. So some people will pre-order it digitally, and that part I really don't understand. Yeah. Because you can just get it whenever digitally. It's not like they're going to sell out, right?
Yeah.
But what they're doing is they're basically kind of getting you to pre-order, which the only benefit that comes out of pre-order is to the company. They're going to know the amount they're going to sell. They're going to be able to kind of control the messaging. They're going to be able to set their price. They're going to be able to get a certain amount of people to purchase this game without people even knowing if the game is good or not.
Yeah.
So it's all benefits to the company selling you this product. Where it gets really slimy and crazy is that if you order at Best Buy, you have this particular pre-order bonus. If you order at Target, at Amazon, so in order to get a complete game, I feel like it's impossible because they're splitting up the game in so many ways. So I definitely am not a proponent of those for people to pre-order. I don't think there is a reason for it, and sure there is some cases that yes, and yes there are some cases where the developer is a well-known developer and you know that the game's going to be good, even though no is not for sure, but you have an understanding that the game has a better chance of being good than not. But those cases are far and few between.
Yeah.
I think that ultimately pre-orders is not necessary. What do you think?
Well, to be honest, I'm not really for or against pre-orders.
Okay.
I just want to preface by saying that, but you know, it's all dependent on you. It's all dependent on the person. So if you want to go ahead and pre-order, I mean, either pre-order physically or pre-order digitally. But to be honest, you know, there have been a few, you know, well, more than a few good cases where, you know, pre-ordering was fun. You know, you got the midnight releases where everybody just like...
Right, that's where I see the cool part of it. I get that.
Yeah, man, everybody... That. Yeah, okay, yeah, you're standing in line for hours on end, and that sucks. Yeah. And, you know, God only help you if you don't bring, like, a lawn chair, you know, to sit for the hours, and you don't, you know, bring anything, like... you don't bring yourself, like, a PlayStation Vita or 3DS or a Nintendo Switch to help you pass the time.
I will admit, that... part of it is really cool. You get to stand in line and get to know like-minded people with like-minded, you know, kind of interests, right? Yeah. So you get to make some acquaintances that way, and just kind of have fun with it. You know? What I mean?
Dude. I used to work at the GameStop down on Snapper Creek.
How dare you?
Oh, okay. No, dude, it was a job. It was a job, and I found a better job. Anyway, you know, the manager there was really cool, and I've known her for a very long time. And she, you know, she was thinking about organizing a party for the midnight release of Pokemon Sun and Moon. Right. I helped her out. I helped her out. You know, I bring, you know, like a big speaker, and I played like Pokemon music from you know, season 1. You know what I'm talking about. Yeah. I want to be the very best. No, I'm kidding. I played that. We had a big screen TV. We played what was it? Pokken Tournament.
Pokken Tournament.
Yeah. So yeah, we played Pokken Tournament on the big screen.
That's cool, man. I don't disagree with you. Those particular events are pretty cool.
And we brought pizza and we brought soda.
Nice,
dude. There was a CVS across the street, and they had their Arizonas for $2 for $1, and so we ended up getting like 50 of them for everybody.
Chug. You guys really partied it out.
Yeah, we really partied it out, and it's really fun. And everybody had Arizonas for free.
Nice.
So I guess the point is, like, it's all. I guess you're trying to like. It's about that good time. You know what I'm saying? Like, you go out, you meet people that are, you know, of like-minded interests. You know, it creates that social space, I guess.
Right.
That, you know, that pre-ordering does. So I mean, I'm hoping that there's gonna be a pre-order for Destiny 2. Like, and
for sure, midnight release.
A midnight release of Destiny 2, and then there's gonna be like a really long line, and everybody's gonna have pizza in Arizona. So, yeah, I guess that's what it really boils down to. Like, if you like it, I mean,
that's cool, man. I don't disagree with you. That part of it is fun. It's just all the side stuff that happens. With this country, let's face it, most people do not wait in line for midnight release. Yeah, there is a large amount. Don't. I mean, if I wait in line for the Nintendo Switch, but you know, again, like I said, there's special cases. Maybe, you know, I don't think that midnight release line is gonna go crazy over, I don't know, freaking N++. You're not gonna see that type of
that's
turnout. But you launch something like a Destiny 2, you're gonna see that turnout.
Yeah, like a really big AAA titles. They did it for all the Halos.
Yeah,
they did it for Gears of War. They did it for God knows what else.
Right. But imagine this. That's the cool part of it, right? This is the other side of it. So, you know, you get excited, you pre-order the game, you see the commercials, you're like, this is gonna be badass. You hit the pre-order button, or you pay $5 at GameStop or whatever it is that you do, and then game night comes, you wait in line, it's exciting, pick it up, and then you're like, boom, you grab your copy, you look at it, Mass Effect Andromeda. Ooh, I can't wait to play this at home when I go home. You pop it in, you got a patch.
You got a patch.
All right. So no problem. Okay, patch it. And then you start looking at the reviews.
Oh, wow. Crap.
What did I do? Why didn't I wait a week to see what happens? Now I spent $60. You go back to try and trade it to GameStop. So that's the other side of it, right?
Okay.
Like the pre-order, and then the game is a complete mess.
Okay.
So it's like, I think that's exactly what happened. There was a ton of pre-orders for that game, and they just said, "Hey, get it out. We need the money." And they got their money and they ran with it. And now look, they're canceling it out. So I think that's the disgusting side of the business, and that's why I don't like particular EA's practices in that case.
I think, you know, certain publishers actually do this pretty good. I mean, I'm gonna sound like a really big fanboy, you know, not just for PlayStation but for Bungie too.
What is it?
Yeah, sorry, I got to turn around. This is the moneymaker. This right here is the moneymaker.
Yeah.
No, well, you know, that's why you have like closed betas and open betas, you know, sort of to test the waters on, you know, what the game is going to be like.
Right.
So, you know, it's not the final product, but you know that it's headed somewhere in the right direction. And that's why you have like people who buy into, like, you know, the pre-order so they can get the closed betas. They review on it. They don't just look at social media. They look at the data that, you know, that gets sent out to the servers. I'm sorry.
Right. No worries.
That they sent out to the servers, excuse me. And then they review it and see, like, where is it laggy, where is it buggy, where can we improve, where you know, where are the physics engines like operating best, and how can we get it to operate best over here, and with
right, and I see that part of it, but I think that we're kind of getting away from the fact that look, I'll give you another example. Bethesda last year, they basically said, hey, look, everybody's getting the game at the same time, reviews are going to be up at the same time. They basically give a 1 day advance on the games for people to review, which a lot of their games do, you know, it's not enough time. They have huge things like games like Fallout 4 and such. So where that plays into effect is if you pre-order these games and you have companies doing this type of thing. I'm not saying that Bethesda makes bad games, because they've made good games historically, but it doesn't give the opportunity for enough time for the review to get out, for you to know that you're gonna like the game. Now you're invested $60, and it's too late. So it can go both ways, right? So there's the benefits of pre-ordering in some cases, but I think in most cases pre-ordering is not needed. But I mean, I guess we'll differ in those aspects there. But yeah, guys, so that has been show 10. I want to remind you guys, you know, we are on iTunes, we're on Stitcher. It helps us out a ton. I should have mentioned this at the top of the show, but when you guys go in and review us on iTunes, it definitely helps us out. You know, give us some comments. That way, that's how we can hear you guys, what you guys want to hear, how do you guys want us to improve the show. That's how we can make those changes. If not, we're in the dark and we're kind of shooting off the hip here from week to week. So I want to ask you guys if you can do that. I'll make it really easy for you guys. I'll put it in the show notes. You guys could just click that link and it will take you there, and then you can hit us with the 5 stars, or, you know,
alright,
4 3/4 or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, by all means, let us know if you have any comments, questions, concerns, or if you have any topics that you'd like to see for future shows. I mean, just drop us a line, you know, put it down there. You know?
Yeah, I mean, you can also reach us at miamiletsplay@gmail.com. That's another way to reach us out, or reach out to us as well. But you have anything else to add, Eric?
Yeah, I mean, they already have my. Well, I mean, I'm.
You know what? I need to get your link. I need to link them up to all the.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
Make sure before you leave here today, you send me that.
You guys are gonna get linked up to all my YouTube, my new Instagram. You know, hopefully.
Nice. I gotta follow you, dude.
Yeah, dude. Dude, follow me. I think it's probably gonna be like my same as my gamer tag, so I'm gonna keep it simple. @BreakerBoy. I'm probably gonna get a Twitter.
Nice.
Just for my Breaker.
Dude, it's too many things to keep track of. I try to keep it simple, so I have the YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, and then from time to time Google Plus.
Okay.
Believe it or not, but that's it, man. I can't. Facebook, freaking Snapchat. It's just too many things.
Dude, yeah. I need to find a way to consolidate like all of those things, so I don't have to work as hard. You know.
Yeah, for real. And we're basically a one-man show on each of our channels, and we come together and we do this podcast. So it's only so much resources that we have, but we try our very best. All right, guys. Again, I want to thank you guys so much for listening and watching. And until next time, guys. Thanks again, and remember, game on. Yeah, I usually go in there and I make our lows lower and our highs higher. So you can be like, hey, yo.
Huh?